The best of the week on Relevant Radio.
Well, thanks for joining me. It's a delight to be here with you today. Let me show you a quick story somebody shared with me. They took their dog to a dog park. I don't know how crowded it was or what it was like. And they were getting out of their car, and somebody else's dog was already there. And that dog was, I guess, it was a pit bull mix. People get terrified of anything that looks like a pit bull. I mean, they're really smart dogs, and I think sometimes they get a bad rap, but you do hear horrible stories about how they can really hurt somebody. So I don't want to downplay that at all, but that's terrifying. The dog comes racing towards this guy in his car, and the guy takes his hand and he pushes the dog back. I guess he shoved the dog. And the owner saw this. It was like, yo, don't put your hands on my dog. And they got into this verbal exchange. They went back and forth, and before you know it, the guy's like, "Yeah, you want to go?" Yeah, like they wanted to fight over this whole thing, and it raised a question for me. When I was being told about this, I thought, well, what is what's proper etiquette? You see this stuff. Have you ever have these neighborhood apps, in your community? I don't know if you're on some of those types of things. You hear about people all the time complaining about their Ring camera, their doorbell camera, capturing somebody's dog who went to the bathroom on their property, and maybe that's it. Now, I know we all love our animals, right? But what is proper etiquette? What should you do? I think dogs are loyal. They're comforting. They're protective. You could be the meanest looking dog, but at home, it's the sweetest thing, right? And they're family for a lot of people. The moment you step outside your front door, I think sometimes things change. I mean, you do have a responsibility to everybody else. And here's where it kind of gets difficult. Not everybody loves dogs the way you do. There are some people who have a real fear of dogs. Some people have allergies to them. And the other thing is, I know there have been people who've been bitten by them before, and that would really change the way you look at an animal. So I don't want to, I'd love to get your take on this. What have you been through? Have you had a similar experience? A lot of people don't want muddy paws on their clothes. Those dogs, if they see you, they run up, they jump, they want to play with you. So, I don't think it makes people unreasonable not to want to have a dog race up to them when they're getting out of their car or doing that. But let's talk some of the basics. When you're in public, your dog should be under your control, I would say. And that usually means a leash, not a retractable one that goes halfway across the yard, but something you can pull the dog back if you had to, right? And I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, don't worry, he's friendly. But friendly dogs still jump. Friendly dogs still get startled. Friendly dogs still have teeth, and sometimes they can end up biting." Have you ever had a bad experience with somebody else's dog in public? What did you do, and how did you react? Feel free to call in. We'll talk a little bit about it. 888-914-9149. 888-914-9149. What advice would you give to somebody else? Should dogs always be leashed in public places? Should there be like a no exception rule, or there's nobody really around, take the dog off, it can run through the field or the park? And then the other issue too, which I know is one that drives people crazy. How do you handle it when someone doesn't clean up after their dog? Do you call the neighbor out on it? You just go and pick it up and have that grievance within you? Have you ever felt even threatened by a dog whose owner says, "Don't worry, he's friendly"? Like, I've got a dog. Kathy and I have this dog, and it's afraid of its own shadow, right? But if that doorbell in our home rings, that thing looks like it's going to kill you, right? And it'll race through that front door. I see so many people who come up, whether they're friends or families or somebody delivering a package. If I was on the other side of that glass, I'm telling you what, I would be terrified of my dog, even though I know how gentle it is. So you don't know. And oh, don't worry, he's friendly. That's fine until maybe the dog bites. So what responsibility do you have as an owner, too? I'll share with you a story of somebody I know that got bit by a dog. But I'll take your calls. 888-914-9149. We'll talk a little dog etiquette and even what our relationships to these animals should be. And that's a whole nother conversation too, right? We can certainly get into that. And I think that's an important aspect of the conversation. So, we do have dominion over animals, right? Church is pretty clear. What do we owe the animal? Have you ever noticed how an animal can bring something out of you? I mean, really, if you have a dog, like I said, you know what I'm talking about. So we'll take a few calls. Merton, Wisconsin is up first. Jacinta, Jacinta, good afternoon. Good to have you on the air.
Thank you for taking my call,
You're
Drew.
welcome.
I felt just really compelled to call. I am an athlete, and I have been attacked by dogs a couple times. I also have a lot of grand dogs and great grand animals, so it's not like I'm not used to them. But once you've been attacked by a dog, the fear is there, and I swear it's there for other dogs to sense.
Yeah,
and people should keep them on leashes.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I think dogs can sense fear, can't they? I mean, There's this guy, Cesar Milan. Is that his name, Milano? Yeah, he's a dog whisperer. I don't know if you ever saw him. I mean, he can go in. He has this ability. He sends off this energy. I don't know what it is, this vibe when he gets in there. And those dogs sense that, and they respect that. But you're right. If you've been bitten by an animal, and maybe the dogs seem friendly, it can be traumatizing. You've been bit multiple times or just once?
Oh, no, I've been bit a couple times being a rollerblader, a walker, a biker.
Yeah.
People just don't keep them on leashes.
Yeah, and what is it about dogs in uniforms or wheels? You know,
there is definitely something about dogs and wheels. There's no doubt in my mind.
I know my dog's kind of that way too. I get a little worried too because it sees a small wheel or a bike. It's like, you just want to chase it. You're right. Hey, Jacinta, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for what you
bet. Thank you for addressing this. So people think about respecting other people's.
Yeah. So wait. Let me ask you a question before you go. Let me follow up because I knew a girl when she was in her 20s. She went to a friend's house and my dog's fine. It's fun. So she was petting the dog. It was a big Doberman, and the dog bit her on the arm. Right. She had to go to the ER, get the wound cleaned. And then the person whose dog bit her, I was all worried that she was going to be sued. Never paid for the ER visit. Never helped. How do people react when you've been bitten? Were they?
That is an interesting thing because we were on a mini farm and I was an avid rollerblader at the time. I was skiing the American Birkebeiner, so it was my training. And there were dogs down the road from our farm that were typically penned. And one day I'm rollerblading and it just came out right in front of the owner who called it off and bit me in the back of my calf and drew blood. I went back the next day and I said, I think you should see, because I was really black and blue. I said, I'm not calling the police. I will take care of this, but I see your dog unleashed again and I will call the police. That won't happen again. That won't happen. So sorry. 2 days later, I was walking and the dog pinned me in the middle of the road.
Wow.
I called the police. I got chewed out by the police officer for not having called the first time. Wow. I didn't know that you had to report any kind of bite. But never paid for anything, never offered anything, nothing.
In cases like that where a dog bites multiple times, sometimes they make the owner put the dog down, right?
Correct.
Would you feel guilty about that or not really?
No, because it was in the middle of the road. Yeah. It wasn't even on their property either time.
If a dog bites multiple times, that's problematic.
Well, that's the thing is they had young children, and that was my main concern. Like me, it was the back of my leg, but what if it's a child's face?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Because once a dog bites, they claim that once they taste blood, they claim that they will typically do it again.
Ugh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Jacinta, thanks. I appreciate the call.
Thank you so much again for addressing. Thank you so much for being relevant radio.
No,
God bless you.
I'm so grateful to talk with you. We're talking, we're just tuning in a little bit about dogs, our relationship to them, and proper etiquette. Nick was sharing with me about a friend who his dog practically attacked him coming out of the car. Right, Nick? And
it was another dog that came up behind him that was at a dog park and was not in the dog park yet and was off his leash, and it was a pit bull mix. And so the person that I know was startled by that and kind of pushed the dog away a little bit. That dog's owner got very upset. Why would you push my dog? And he was like, well, you got to get your dog on the leash.
And the guy wanted to fight.
Exactly.
So
it didn't get physical, but they got into it.
You want to throw, man? It's like, I never understood. Well, what's it going to prove? We're going to fight. How's that resolve this issue?
Right, exactly. And there's a sign outside the dog park that says dogs must be on a leash at all times.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people do at this particular dog park is open up the doors and the dogs run right up to the dog park off leash. But if your dog doesn't walk right up to the fence and starts going around to see other people, then
the other problem is the dogs can attack the dogs, and your dog can get injured as well. So that's interesting. Debbie in Appleton, Wisconsin. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. It's funny because a responsible dog owner is going to have them on a leash because you never know if they're going to get protective. I had taken my black lab, who's gentle as can be, but was abused as a puppy, to the nursing home to see my parents. And that dog, everybody just loved the dog. But this young woman came up, and I was just stunned because she just bent down, got right in Cody's face, and he kind of pulled back and growled and barked, but he didn't try to bite her or anything. And she looked at me and said, "Your dog is dangerous." And I said, "Well, if you're going to get in his face like that, you don't do that. You should be asking someone if you can pet their dog and get permission." And the other thing I wanted to say is I've had dogs all my life, and I'm 68, and multiple dogs at a time. And that is an old wife tale about if a dog bites, it'll bite again. Yeah. It depends on what the dog was doing. Was it protecting someone, especially children? So I just don't want people to get some crazy idea in their head that that's true.
So what do you do
anyway,
if you think a dog's going to bite you? What do you do?
Well, you don't back away. You don't back down. You get in, you stand your ground. Don't turn and run, because I saw that happen to someone one time, and the dog attacked the girl. But she's screaming and running with her back to the dog. Don't do that. Stand there and tell them no.
Do you look the dog in the eye, or you don't do that?
Absolutely. And no, I would. I mean, you get into fight mode. It's like you just get in their face. It's like, no, I would do it. It's worked for me. Because a lot of times you can startle dogs too. Right. So people really need to ask if they can pet someone's dog, and people need to keep their animals leashed, because you don't want to set your dog up like that. And if it bites and you have to get rid of it, that's just not right.
Yeah. Train your dog, if you don't, I see people who they treat their dog like it's a child, like it's a grandchild. They give it everything at once every time it whimpers and cries. And that's not good either. Good etiquette isn't about rules, in my opinion. It's really about respect. And I think we have to respect our neighbors. We have to respect for their children, respect for the elderly, respect for people who carry our mail and our packages, right? People who carry invisible fears. There's a lot of people who got a lot of trauma. So honestly, respect for your dog too, because if you have a well-handled dog, I think it's a safer dog. And question is not whether you love your dog. The real question is, do you love your neighbor enough to take the responsibility to make sure your dog's on a leash and well governed?
That was the Best of the Week on Relevant Radio. The best way to listen to the Best of the Week is on the Relevant Radio app, free and always free. Download and share the #1 free Catholic app today in the App Store.